There was once a boy named Ariv, who lived in a quiet village, where mountains touched the sky, and rivers whispered stories to the stones. But despite the calm around him, Ariv's mind was never still. From dawn till dusk, he asked questions. Why do people shout when they're angry? Why does the heart feel heavy when nothing's wrong? Where does peace go when we grow up? Everyone laughed. He'll be a priest one day. But Ariv didn't want to become anything. He just wanted to understand why his mind wouldn't stop. One day, sitting under a neem tree, Ariv said to himself, "If I can't find answers in this village, I'll search beyond." He had heard stories of King Viraj, once called the Calm King. They said he ruled not with swords, but with stillness. But lately, the king had changed. He was no longer calm. His voice had grown loud. His eyes tired. The weight of decisions, of ruling, of always being needed, had silenced something deeper inside him. Ariv walked 2 full days to the palace gates, barefoot, dusty, determined. He called out to the guards, "I've come to ask the king a question, one only he can answer." The guards laughed, but word reached the king, and something strange stirred in his heart. He called for the boy. Ariv stood before him and asked, "Your Majesty, where did your peace go?" The king looked long at the boy, and instead of brushing him off, he whispered, "I used to know. I think I lost it. Come with me." That night, under a pale moon, the king and the boy rode silently to a forgotten hill to visit Elder Sandhi, the blind mystic. She had once been the king's teacher before the crown. She welcomed them with warm hands and a gentle laugh. "You come seeking presents," she said. "But presents is not something you seek, it is something you stop forgetting." She gave them no books, no scrolls, only a riddle. Go into the forest. Listen not for answers, but for what listens. The next morning, Ariv and the king entered the thick green forest. Birds chirped, wind rustled, leaves danced, but their minds remained noisy. Ariv tried to focus, but his thoughts jumped like monkeys. The king tried to meditate, but his inner voice argued over war, politics, old regrets. For 3 days, they walked, silent, tired, lost. One night, they came across a still lake. Ariv stared at the water and said, "Why can't my mind be like this?" The king replied, "Because we've been trying to hold it still, instead of letting it settle on its own." And just then, the voice of stillness whispered, not from the trees, not from the wind, but from within. "You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them." They both froze, not in fear, but recognition. Something ancient, something wordless, was present. That night, Ariv didn't ask questions. He just watched his breath. His thoughts still came, but he didn't follow them. He realized, "I don't have to believe every thought. I can just watch and let go." The king, too, sat in silence. For the first time in years, no duties, no decisions, only awareness. They sat by the fire, no longer seeking peace, but being peace. By dawn, something had changed. Not in the world, but in them. The boy had not learned presence, he had remembered it. The king had not found silence, he had returned to it. They looked at each other and smiled. Back at the village, people asked the boy, "So, did you find the secret of peace?" He laughed. No, I stopped needing to find it. And the king? He ruled again, not louder, but lighter. Decisions were made, not from fear, but from stillness. He no longer needed to control everything, because now he knew the truest. Sometimes, the greatest journey is not outward, but inward. Presence isn't something to master, it's something to remember. And often, the wisest teachers are not kings or scholars, but curious little boys who simply ask the right question and dare to sit still long enough to hear the answer.